It's a weird feeling being in downtown Fort Collins in Old Town Square on a Wednesday night at about 9 p.m. and it being completely vacant of people. I can't wait, and I'm looking forward to a day here sooner than later, hopefully, where this area is bursting with people, energy, and excitement, like it typically is. I've grown up here, born and raised, went to elementary, middle school, high school, and graduated from CSU, and I've never seen it like this. But I thought, what a great opportunity to come down, take some video of how beautiful it really truly is, and share with you my city, Fort Collins, Colorado. Hey everybody, this is Patrick Soukup with Soukup Real Estate Services, and I want to talk to you guys about what it's like to live in Fort Collins, Colorado. So right now I'm sitting in what we consider the heart of Fort Collins, Colorado, Old Town Square. You might recognize when you come down here some of the buildings because Walt Disney actually gathered some ideas for Disney World and Disneyland based off of Fort Collins, Colorado. It's a beautiful place which really shines during the Christmas time. Christmas lights turn on about November 2nd and run through Valentine's Day every year. We decorate the Old Town Square buildings with a substantial amount of Christmas lights. This year though, not too many people get to enjoy them, but we do it every single year, and it is amazing to come down, have a drink, Social, which is a nationally known bar, or catch a dinner at Sunny Lubick Steakhouse, one of our old legacy coaches at CSU, one of our old legacy football coaches who stuck around, or one of the old alumni spot for all college kids coming back is Lucky Joe's, which I'm looking at it right now. So downtown Fort Collins, like I said, is really the heart of Fort Collins. It's a tourist center, but it's also really the most dense area in Fort Collins, where our population's increasing about 1% to 2% annually. We're reaching about 170,000 people, and Fort Collins is kind of broken into typically really only used to be 3 areas: South, Midtown, and Old Town. But the development of north of Fort Collins is really starting to pick up. So now there's going to be about 4 different areas of town: North, Old Town, Midtown, and South of town. And like I said, right now I'm sitting in the middle of Old Town Square. Again, not too many people are here right now. One pretty cool and unique thing about Old Town Fort Collins is our skyline of buildings. There's not too many, if really any, that exceed 3 stories. We have about 3 or 4 buildings that are taller than that, but in general, the majority of our buildings are going to be capped at about 3 stories. So anywhere in Fort Collins, you're going to be able to have a good view of the foothills and the mountains and our 300 days of sunshine. And about a mile from us is our university, Colorado State University, CSU. That's going to be really the backbone of our economy and our population. Our enrollment at CSU is about 27,000 people. It has decreased this year, which is pretty typical of any university, but it's about a mile away from Old Town Square, maybe a little bit less, but it encompasses at 1 square mile. It's a beautiful campus, tons of green space, new buildings, and again, it's really the backbone of Fort Collins' economy. Speaking about economy, we've got a pretty diverse and growing economy, from OtterBox Technologies, which is phone cases and other products, to Madwire, which is a tech company that specializes in marketing for small businesses, Woodward Governor, traded on the stock exchange, and then we've got breweries, New Belgium Brewery, which is a nationally known company. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it was sold international corporation. So it was once an employee-owned company, and now they've all been bought out. They were all paid, hopefully very well. But other than that, there's no real one industry that dictates Fort Collins. We are a university-based city, but other than that, we have a growing technology scene. Not a ton of tech startups here, but They are making their way here, and people are trying, like Laborjack, Stow It, Turbo Tenant, that are making their way here in Fort Collins. As slow as our startup technology scene might be, everything else seems to be pretty amazing. As far as we have 300 days of sunshine here in Fort Collins. I'm sitting here again on a Wednesday night at about 8 o'clock in our old town. Feel safe as can be. There are a little bit of transients here and there. We do have a homeless problem during the summers, but in all and in general, we have a very safe environment here, safe community. My parents, or mother and father-in-law, were trying to recruit them here to Fort Collins, but they just don't want to come because they're concerned about the snow and the cold. It's December 9th, 2020, and it's 42 degrees here at 9 p.m. It's very comfortable, but that's not to be said. We'll have about 7 to 10 snowstorms, which equates to about 14 to 18 times that you'll shovel. I've tracked it on some of our investment properties, so it's really not as bad as you'd think. And those 300 days of sunshine generally kick that snow off the streets and sidewalks within a week's time. Every now and again, specifically last year in 2019, we had a pretty strong cold season, and it was snow sat on the ground for quite a while. So it does happen, but not often. So as far as our school systems go, CSU obviously is our main university. We have 4 5A high schools, which in Colorado is the biggest high school you can get. So if you have a student that likes to compete in sports, they will compete at the highest level in high school against the best competition. And it's amazing. There's a road here in town, Trilby, that if you're south of it, you're all of a sudden in the Loveland School District. And if you're north of it, you stay in the Poudre School District. So PSD schools are highly sought out, very reputable, and have high scores. So it's a good community for our public school systems. And people generally really reach out to come here and specifically want to stay south of that road, Trilby. Specifically, Fort Collins is really a smaller family community, great place to raise kids. As we just spoke about, the schools here in town, but just about an hour away is Denver, Colorado, which will give you all of your professional sports, theaters, plays, ballets, and it's just a hop onto I-25, a quick trip down. Now, granted, if you're from Fort Collins, one of the things that people do complain about is the road construction. The interstate's about 10 years behind where it needs to be based off of our population growth. So right now we're kind of fighting from behind to build that interstate where it needs to be. But again, we're just about an hour away from Denver, Colorado. Steamboat Springs, which is one of the best mountains in the world to ski, is about 3.5 hours away. Breckenridge, Keystone are about 3 hours away, but you are going to take an interstate there that can get really backed up, pretty dicey. So me personally, I'm a big Steamboat guy. Other than that, heading north, we've got Red Feather and some pretty good Poudre, the Poudre Canyon and the Poudre River, which people will float down. And within 15 minutes, I can get onto the hiking trails at Horsetooth or raft down the Poudre. So there's some pretty cool outdoor activities besides walking around downtown Fort Collins with your family on a weekend. So as we spoke about earlier, New Belgium's a big employer here in Fort Collins, and it really is kind of the poster child for craft breweries. But we've got others in Odell's Brewing. We've got Funkworks, Horse and Dragon, Black Barrel, and other breweries here in town that are really enjoyable. So if you did come down in Old Town Square, about a 15-minute walk north, we've got New Belgium and other breweries just really honestly within walking distance of here. So Equinox, Coopersmiths, it's an amazing place to have lunch and have beers. So there's some really cool places that you can stop just in the middle of your day, middle of Saturday, Sunday, have lunch, have a beer. So have lunch, have a beer, go hike Horsetooth, or hike Horsetooth, come have lunch, have a beer. And then in the evenings, basically take your family down, ice skate down in the ice rink here in Old Town Square. Or Midtown has the Foothills Fashion Mall and an outdoor actual ice rink that's pretty phenomenal. I can't necessarily dig on Midtown as much as I like because I'm a big Old Town person, but there's opportunities to have fun anywhere and everywhere here in Fort Collins. You know, the secret's out about Fort Collins. We're listed as, you know, one of the best place to live by livability just recently. We're always in the top. But one of the things that I love is just the people. Having conversations and interacting with people that come here from out of state and just tell me how wonderful Fort Collins is, how nice people are. But there's definitely some drawbacks. Our cost of living, our housing costs have gone up because of the amount of people that have lived here. There's a concern from the locals that, hey, people are coming from out of state, they're going to be bringing their ideals with them maybe, or ruin this small town feel. But operations like the Downtown Development Authority are really doing a great job about keeping Old Town, the feel in Old Town, small and unique. So for those that are concerned about that, Fort Collins still remains a small town, but with cool big city opportunities to have fun. I hope this video helps, and I really want to show my community, my city. I'm born and raised here. I love it. And I know a lot of people have questions and want to know more about Fort Collins. If you want to, reach out, subscribe, like, comment, interact, or just send me a text. I'd be happy to answer any and all questions that you have about Fort Collins. Have a great night.